hope this is the right one. Made in USA, good. Moog 8468B. I'm going to count and make sure everything's in here, but this is warning. Okay. During installation and removal, do not strike hardened steel parts. Oh, that's always true. Saw that on Mythbusters. Never hit a hammer on a hammer and stuff like that. And that is true. Suitable brass. Oh, yeah, okay. I understand that. Good. Well, let me make sure everything's... Oh, boy, shims and everything. So I'll be able to fix it if I can figure out how to adjust the steering box on this one. So, anyway. Seems like somebody's... They say there's a power steering box on these things. I don't know. 57 GMC with power steering. I didn't know they did that. Maybe they did. Let's count up, see what we got here. Okay, I've done an inventory. It looks like everything's here. There's your Zerk fitting holes. When you put those in, we'll talk about that later. You got 4 of them. You got your 2 Kingpins. Now you'll get 4 of these. They're different sizes, so you got to keep that in mind. See how that one fits inside the other, and that does the same. So you got to keep in mind that those are different sizes. You got your 2 big spacers. You got your 2 little spacers. You got these, and I believe they go in like this on the cups, and so we'll get there. Those are all the same size. So we'll be careful when taking it apart. You got your 4 plugs, and you got your shims, and that little green packet you saw. This is what was in there. So it's good to have these shims. We'll get her nice and tight. So put those in there. So everything's here. This, my brothers, is a cotter pin. Those things that split, that you put through things and you spread them out, that is a split pin. This is a cotter pin, okay? And I don't care what anybody else says. I've done enough front ends on Alton Heelys to know. Generally, a cotter, well, they're a little bit tapered, but this is a holding pin. But a cotter pin looks much more is this with a taper, okay? It is okay. Is that enough of that? Let's bring Daff around back here, and I jack her up and take the front wheels off and do some power washing. It's always better when you're going to do Kingpins or front end work or anything. I'm going to do as much as I can, and I'm going to do the springs and Zerk fittings. I'm going to try to clean her up there, and I'm getting ready to put some dye in the motor to see if I can find that oil leak. That could be part of the reason the starter's kind of dragging, is because it might have been oil fouled over all the years. I have not touched that starter since I bought that truck, and it's more than a decade ago now. So it's been good. It's been good. I'm looking forward to doing some heavy wiring. I'm going to put a starter relay in it, and I'm going to put a fuse on all of the cars, a big mega fuse. I'm not going to trust just disconnecting the battery anymore. I do think about it a lot. I just don't want to risk anything. So I really ordered a bunch of big. I won't tell you what amperes because that'll all depend on you. For the Healy, the Spitfire, the TR4, Daphne, the Jaguar, and the Bonneville. So they're all going to get a little safety factor. Okay, back in the saddle back here. I got that secondary fuel pump back in here after it was leaking. So there it is fixed, and I got the clamps off back here. I got the earth and the ground and the thing and the power and the good. Okay, great. Let's flip that around. Flip this around. Now I had an idea I was going to share with you. Now, like I said, when I put this new stainless steel line in, coming down right here, it was exposed, and this is the exhaust header. And so I was thinking I'd get some of this nasty stuff here, which is that nasty stuff there, wrap. And I was just dreading pulling these stainless steel ties around there, but I had an idea. Why not use hog rings? And so I've already done that. See, I've got a couple of hog rings right there. And so I'm going to try to just keep that line from getting too hot. So the hog rings just go right around there and work pretty doggone good. I mean, all they have to do is, it's just a heat shield. It don't have to be a whole lot, but a couple more hog rings and I'll be fine. I can reach right through here and get one. So if you've never seen these, it's an upholstery tool. I got this to work on the T-Bird. And this thing is a tool spring-loaded. I don't know what part number it is. I've had it a long time. Got rained in one time. Left the window open in the old shop. So this thing's spring-loaded and it holds this ring right here. There you go. It's focused. Wow. What a cambot, huh? And you just squeeze it around very gently. Don't go too hard. And you got to wet that stuff down before you use it too, so it ends up kind of all over you. But let's finish that. I think that's a good idea. And since I'm going to be pulling the starter out, I'm not going to wrap around this header quite yet. So that could be enough. It may be, so we'll see. Just anything to keep it from vapor locking or whatever can happen. So hopefully pretty soon we'll have this thing around back and I'll be pressure washing it and getting all this gunk out of here, and mainly around them Kingpins. Okay, well I got it all the way back to here, back to the other wrap, and it's right there. You can't see it. You don't need to see it, but up here you can see it. Yeah, the hog ring idea worked real good. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. And like I say, I've got this piece of metal pipe here that was actually, it's what do you call that, for furnaces and ductwork pipe. I tore out of something, so I'll probably come back down here after I get this starter in, and I don't know which way I'm gonna go. I think I'll try to mount it to the frame somehow and just make some kind of better heat shield for that, because the brake line goes through there too. And I just don't like the idea of the whole thing. So, all right, let's clean up and get her around back in pressure washer. Well, just about ready to start this endeavor of power washing. And I gotta check the petrol level and oil level. I haven't run that in a while. So I'm gonna be very careful here. And I gotta get right down in there and clean that steering stuff out. And I don't think there's anything over here I gotta worry about. No, I don't want to go too far with this thing. Oh, I'm gonna go put some dye in this. I'm gonna go get it right now. I want to check the oil in this too. I'm at an angle now. Well, should have thought of that when I had it on the lift. I'll remember it because of this video. Well, let me go get some dye and put in this so I can see where this oil leak's coming from. But we're just about ready. Got air, got water, got sky, got hay, got music if they'd ever get off the commercials. This is why when you go down the road you hear all that violence. These, I think they call them flints. Little stones from Sean making me get little stone. Didn't make me, I believed him, but it's good stuff, I guess. See, the good thing about it, it keeps the weeds back. Okay, I got the steering wheel turned all the way around. Be sure and put these on. And noise abatement, stuff like that. Now the trick here is going to be just clean this stuff and don't get any water in the brakes. So I see that in old movies, you got water in the brakes. You see that all the time. Oh, it's a good song. Okay, let's get the water hooked up. Turn the wheels lock to lock, you can just get in there. Clean off insert fits. She's all power washed, getting ready to go back on her little stand here. Oh, the key here is the mirror right there. All right. And don't go, oh, I see the lights are on. Ooh, the pretty lights. Come on, keep it going, baby. Keep it going. Make it over the hump there. And hit that. That's good enough. Okay. Oh boy, clocks. Okay, we can start on the Kingpins now. And let's get them off. So, look at the mess I got from. I don't want to do that because I'll forget it and we'll come down. We'll just work with this in here. All right, let's pull this wheel off. Try to overlook all this other mess. You know the stages. You've got a wheel off, hub off, which is easy to do. I did it about a month ago when I did the brand new brakes, but they need to be adjusted anyway. So clean the grease off because it's got plenty of grease, don't you? And you're going to take these 4 bolts out right here. And then we'll just swing that out of the way and we'll get to the Kingpin, which is kind of, it's a little rattly. It ain't terrible, but I just want it to be right. And I got to get the grease gun in here too and get all of this stuff. So don't do the Kingpins yet because you're getting ready to change them. So I can get those anyway. Let's do those right now before I forget. Don't think I'm going to take this off. Ooh, I just washed my hands, but boy, that's got some crud on it there. That's been on there a long time. So the upper ones are 5/8, and the bottom ones are 3/4, same size as at least my lug nuts over there. So we're going to take this off now. All right, and we're going to put that right there. I'm going to have to do something better, tie that back or something. So just, I got some wire right back there where I put it away already. Okay, let me tie this thing off. Okay, I got these tied back with a bungee cord. And look at that shim down there about to pop out of there. Yeah, there's a little messy in there. That ain't no good. So let's get this cotter pin out of here, and let's pull these out too, because I want to clean all that now. What am I going to do here? Okay, we're going to get these out. What we're going to do, and then we're going to get this out. So what size is that? That's 9/16. What do you think? I always like guessing on these things. Oh, stop it! You always lock that thing down. 9/16. And these are 7/16. These can be some real funky sizes, these Zerk fittings. 7/16. Well, we'll see. We'll get them out one way or another. Clean them up good, get all the dirt out of them, blow them out so you don't just drive scum in there after you just did it. So alright, let's take a look at this thing. So there don't seem to be any shims up there. We'll look in a second. I'll lay it out on this cloth and we'll figure it out. So what did Mick do? Disney. Not Disney. Okay. They're ready to hit the ultrasonic. I got the nut back where it ought to be. I got my little brass hammer here. And there you go. You don't want to mushroom that out too bad. Hold on to all your hardware till you're done. Okay, and there she is out the other side. We're going to get ready to drill right there and pull out that core plug. Not a freeze plug because it ain't freezing in there. Drill through the core plug, and there's the old Kingpin, and so now you can find some socket of some kind and find something a little smaller than that one and knock the bottom one out, and then the little thing came in handy. Alright, let's find something a little smaller. Just knock the whole shebang out of there. Okay, let's see if we can knock that bottom core out of there. There it is. Alright, there's the other one. Shot out of there. Well, let me go get another socket. Alright, now these things can be tight when they're turned to a side like that. I don't know. Let's see if I can get that down there a little bit more. Alright, let's see if we can drop this Kingpin out of here. If I bring it back around this way, come out easier. I don't know. There it goes. Almost. Both sockets. And the old Kingpin. Yeah, she's might scarred up there. Alright. Now I gotta take this part kind of careful like, cause okay. So there was a shim in the bottom. And then this big thing here. You want to compare that with the one that you got, your new one, and there's no shims on the top. Okay, so a little shim on the bottom with this thing, and nothing on top, and there you are. Well, let me clean this up and then put it in the ultrasonic. One of the bushings just kind of just popped on out of there. Didn't really require much. Well, there it goes. Ooh. There you go. All right. No way to treat impact sockets. I think they're softer than the chrome kind. But the chrome kind are more brittle. All right, let's clean this up. And let's see, these. I'm going to compare these right now with the new ones. I don't want to get this stuff too messy. So there's this one. I thought so. See how much thinner that one is? Oh, if you could see it. See how much that's one of those ball bearing things, I think. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Is that one of those ball bearing things? No, I don't think so. We may be reusing this, so let's clean that up. We're not going to be using them. Let's compare them too before we get going too far. Oh, come on. Good, and leave them in the bag. Okay, I think that's going to be okay. I'll check it. If anything goes wrong, I'll let you know. If not, we're going to just keep going. Nice and steamy. So everything's in there. Oop. Oh, there they are. And one of my Zerk fittings fouled up. Luckily, I had another one. All right, let's turn this thing on. As you know, I never do that on camera. So I got a bunch of brake clean and a cloth and up here on the axle part of this, and run that through. I don't like getting brake clean on my hands, but oops, sometimes it forces you to, don't it? And just push that in there and just get that as clean as you can. But see, the thing about this kit is I've got these, you know, so we'll see what I do. I might reuse that bearing, or I might use these cups along with those things. Hey, I don't know. I got the bearing in the ultrasonic, so we'll see. Okay, nice and clean. Let me save the lights here, and let's start on this tomorrow, because I got to go cut grass now before it gets dark. All right, what fun. So more later. Don't look too dark, does it? Long shadows though. Okay, I pulled everything out of the time to change that fluid. We're going to do that before we do the other thing. So we're not going to use this after all, this bearing. So I'm just going to leave that there. Don't throw anything away till you're done. I think we'll be spending some time on the grinder. And I'm not going to tell you what color I'm going to powder coat them. So, but I stuck my hand down in them things and where the bushings go. And it's pretty ugly. I mean, so I got my brake hone here and some of the good stuff, and we'll hone these out some. I got my tension set on kind of light, and I got the stones down in there, so there you go. And then we're going to give it the go here. Yeah, I need both hands. I got to hold the other thing. I just wanted to show doing it. Okay, I've scrubbed and cleaned, and I'm going to get it on the wire wheel over there in a minute. But now's a good time to just blow the grease out of it. Be sure and have your eye stuff on. Okay, can't get my hand on it. Can't put my hand to it. Whew. Okay, we're gonna hang them up for a while and let them. Little grease. All right, let's get it that way. That's the cleanest that's been since 1958 or 9, huh? We'll rinse it off a little bit more, but that's pretty doggone clean. So I'm going to get me some of those British high locking thread. I think that's what those are. So I keep those here, high locks. Get them going and clean these off. Okay, want to see what color? That's right, yeller. Well, who cares? Nobody's ever going to see it but me. Make it stand out, and you can see grease coming out of it and everything. So I've been trying to get all my hardware in order and everything. So let me shut down for tonight, and we'll start again tomorrow. I've got the whole day to myself here. So we're going to get back on this thing, put it there, and now didn't go into powder coating because I've already done that. So what this thing goes in a particular way. It goes in this way, and you can get a dial gauge indicator, and you can figure out what's left and all the other stuff, but that ain't necessary. So what I recommend at this point, now see how you can just see how it works. And anyway, this is a good thing about making videos. You can look back at things. This is very, very clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically rebuild the bottom of it, because if you get this thing in there and you go to put your core stop in there, it's kind of a pain. And so let's go ahead and get a bushing and one of the core stops right here, or end plugs, or whatever you want to call them. And I'm gonna go get my grease, and you gotta, I'm gonna put the I think I'll just use this grease. Now don't put the grease under your car, you'll knock dirt in it. Just don't do that. Just make a little grease station away from under the car. So you gotta line this up, this hole, with the zerk fitting end. So this one will go in this way. I have a press. I hope I don't need it. If I do, I'll get it. Keep this on the clean stuff. And this being the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and put the plug in it. Now when I do this, I'll find a socket that's about that size, and because if you hit it in the middle, it won't go in. You have to hit it around the edges. Let me find something a little better than that. So there's a good comparison. You can see where the grease had traveled around the old bushing. So let's get these things in place. These are the, okay. Alright, let's go get a socket that fits this, and I got my brass hammer here ready to go. So I'm going to rebuild the bottom of it, okay, first. But before we do that, we're going to put the zerk fittings in and blow, not only blow out the zerk fittings, but we're going to that'll just blow all the dirt out of the Zerk fittings and in here, and just get that done. Let's do that right now and find the socket that fits this better. It's probably over here, but I got tons and tons of sockets. Now, something you'll notice here is that this Zerk fitting actually protrudes into, you can just see it maybe, but it does. It protrudes in there, so you got to come up with a way to make this not protrude into this area, because you got to put this bushing in. But that would be ugly. You'd mess up your bushing and have to order a whole nother kit. So, and then one of the reasons I like powder coating things a very bright color is it just makes it easier to see if there's a problem. There's not going to be an oil leak here, but still, I mean, you know, that's why I do that. It's one of the reasons I saw the oil leak under the truck. So, let's see, these things just are forever dirty. Okay, I'll take that one out and clean it again. Okay, I've got this started in the press. This seems like the best way to do this, the most even way, and it won't put a ridge on the top of the bushing to cause the pin to have a problem. Let me go get some spray oil and oil that a little bit. So we've got her going. We got the bottom one in. It's supposed to be flush right here, and you can see daylight through there, just like you should. And this does not take a lot of pressure, but I don't mind using a press for lightweight things. It doesn't bother me in the least. So I got to keep my hand on it because it'll get loose in a second. But there you go. A little bit of press action there, a little tiny bit anyway. Because it did it on the other one. Gets a little loose, gets tight. You know how fittings are. So that looks pretty cool to me. I have a slightly smaller socket in there now. And I'm just doing it with my fingers here. And I'm going to get that down to the flush line like I did that one. And we'll check to see how we did. Okay, so I've got my core plug in there, so I don't have to do it when it's on the vehicle. So let's see what we got here. I just fit the thing and it fit pretty good. This ought to just feel like heaven. Yeah, okay, there we go. Oh baby, oh that is heaven. That's just nice right there. Okay, let's get it on here and now I was going to talk about these things. And I'm going to put that there because I'm going to be using that for a while. Now we're going to get these things. I don't know if I'm going to need shims yet, but as we discussed earlier, there are two sizes of these cups. I thought that, yeah, I injured myself there a little bit. It's okay, don't hurt too bad. So one goes inside the other. So these go like this. They face toward each other. And then I would put the thing in there this way to keep the dirt out of it. I'm trying to keep that. I need to put some tape on that or something. So that's the way that goes. So between those things facing each other, pre-greased, but don't depend on the grease gun to do that. And this piece right here, then you ought to be able to take up the slack that we're about to see here. So okay, that's clean. Believe it or not, I put some clean cloth out there. Oh, stop it. I think that battery's going. So you can fit this thing without the pin in it, of course, and you can tell I got a lot of play there. So let's see what I got shim wise. Now, I would imagine you'd want the shims, guess you could put them anywhere you wanted to, but that's real chalky there. That'll never do. Now you'll notice that there's this shim that's a little not quite as big around as the other ones, and what I think that is supposed to do is supposed to be inside the two cups of the two things here. So I put it in there, and boy, that cleared it right up. So that's about as good as you're going to get right there. That's pretty nice. Well, let's put the Kingpin in it, and then I'll be able to adjust the brakes and all that good stuff. And I got to end the other video about that adjustment on the linkage for the slick shift thing. Let's finish this. Okay, I set you up on the tripod here. So you got to be sure and get this in the right spot. And that should just slide in there now that she's tight. This is not the time to use a big time hammer. Use your brass hammer. And move the light. Shouldn't take much, okay? Double check that thing. If you want to, you can put a little mark right here with some white out or something, but I think we're going to get it. I might just do that. I don't know. Let's see if I can do this thing. So you might just use any kind of marker and you can just mark it right there. Oh, that works pretty good. I don't know if you can see that, but just put a little Sharpie mark there and then you in line with that thing. So it doesn't twist on you like that bushing did a little bit on me. Twisted bushing. Okay, all right. Okay, and then you just get a socket, a clean socket. That's far from clean. Oh, that's because I used it to drift out the other stuff. I got the air. Well, I don't know where the air thing is. It's okay. It's not too big at this point because just make sure it's all the way home and see how it feels. Boy, that's nice. Okay. Well, let's get the cotter in there now. Let's put some 600, the big Loctite 680. Now, I'm gonna go in this way in the back. Let me stick my head in there. Y'all look outside for a second. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, y'all, everything's going to pieces here. Bits and pieces. Okay. Let me lock it in. I didn't know the lower ones weren't locked. Okay, let's get it right there. All right. Okay, yeah, right there's good. Okay, so we got the pin in there. We'll just drift her on in and you'll see her come out. She's coming out, ain't she? Come on out, baby. Well, I don't know. We'll keep trying. Well, the pin's in the right spot. I can see it's locked. Yeah, she's going. There she comes. There she goes. Just have to be. Don't go bat crazy on it. And get it to just to that lip right there. Yeah, once it starts going, it goes great. Come on, Shank. Okay, I think that's pretty good because I'm about out of space over here. All right, we'll take you off of here. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's put that on there. Let's get this Loctite 680. This is steering stuff, so I don't mess around with the, oh, don't bind up on me now. I don't mess with the blue stuff. You're just trying to fake me out here, aren't you? You're just trying to make me unhappy. All right, I think that might do it. It's clogged up at the tip. Yeah, I can see where the stuff is. Some of it's coming out. That's probably better. You don't have to go crazy with that stuff either. Okay, that's good enough for now. Oh, there's my air tip. Okay. Okay. All right, now we get this on there, and this is just going to be good enough to collapse the locking washer there. I don't know what size that is. think it's that size. Yeah, it is. I got a 9/16 that's open. Well, the line wrench will work. Okay. Well, let's just, this won't take long. I must have 97 9/16 wrenches, and the Wonder wrench isn't over here. I usually have that always with me. My favorite wrench. Okay, and that's good. That's probably safer. Okay, there you go. So that's that. Wow, that's pretty good. So now that you got the chance, put your very clean Zerk fittings in, and this will give you an opportunity to just do that right here. And I got some Loctite on that already. It's enough. Now that the bushing's in there, I'm not going to be too worried about it. Always keep your pocket screwdrivers in your pocket when not in use. Let's see, it's this one. Well, it's not that one. It's 5/16. I think. Nope. It's one of those. Okay. So that's good enough. So let's get the grease in here. Now we got to make sure you grease things tight. Okay. And if you're going to make a mess here, it's okay. Ooh, she's taking it good. Yeah, coming out everywhere. There you go. That's all you need. 3 or 4 pumps is all you need. Ooh, coming out the top. Well, let's fit the dome on that one. All right. We have 2 more of those. Okay. So, all right, there might be some editing here while I get this in place. But once again, you want to not hit the middle of this thing. Oh, hang on, baby. And then I give it a little tap right there and lock it in. Okay, now the grease will go down where it needs to go. There it comes. See, it's coming out of there. Okay, good enough. All right, good deal. Doesn't take much. There's not a lot of space in there anymore. And let's get, I like those. Let's get this one. Now, I don't mind leaving a little bit of grease on the fitting. Kind of, you can just wipe it off when you grease it next time. But I got these things, so I'm going to use them. And then that's the end of that. And that's really all I wanted to do. That ought to be that ought to feel real good. Between that and adjusting the steering box, yeah, that's really neat right there. Okay, I like that. Okay, and it'll work in some. Can't take this silly blue thing off my hand now. Okay, not quite done yet. All right, don't forget about these little spacers here. I didn't even bother to take them off, but don't lose them because that's your upper hooked. Okay, these go to these, so don't lose those spacers. These are the big spacers for down low. We'll do a final shot here in a second. I said it was final, but let's kind of take a picture of it all back together again, I guess. All right, the Kingpins, everything's done. I've cleaned and lubricated the leaf spring fittings, the pitman arm, the whatever that thing is, the spindle thing. There's some new split pins in there. You can see the great big black new British high locking lock washer. I've got the top ball, the tie rod in. I've got new NINs on those. I got everything's greased and in place. So all I got to do now is adjust the brakes, which I needed to do anyway because these brakes don't have maybe 50, 100 miles on them. So I'm going to have to go all the way around and adjust all of them. Okay, let's do the other side, and it might be a couple of days before I put a name in on this thing, but we'll see. Okay, so we're underneath now, and there's that side done, and there's that side not done. I just thought I'd do an A-B comparison here, and we're getting ready to drop it down. I got to get this header back on and the plugs back in it, the new plugs, and we will, well, we're just fixing her up. I feel good about it too. She's been a real workaholic for me. It's been a couple of days and I have finished the other side. This side was a little bit more tricky, but both sides are all done now. Brakes are adjusted. Can't wait to feel the brakes. But it's always something, you know. So I came back here and I noticed I got a little problem there. Oops. So these are 2-inch, 27 something, 26 and 7/8 long, 4 1/4 or whatever. But these are shot. I really didn't think they were that shot, but they're not expensive. They're like $30, $40 each. So I'll be getting them. Okay, let's go for a test drive and call this a day. And end of a very long, it's probably taken me a week to get all this done. So I've checked the 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock. I checked all that at 2 o'clock. And so it's all fine. So I'm looking forward to getting under here with my big spotlight and closing up little holes like that and stuff and so on, and kind of getting the cab a little bit even more secure. So let's get up in the cab, take her for a little test drive. I probably won't have to go far. I do need to adjust the back brakes. I need to put that on my list. Can't do it right now. I don't have time if I'm going to do a test drive. So let's go do a test drive. Okay, did those come on? Alright, let's give her a couple of pumps here. Still got to do the other side, the spark plugs on the right bank there of the scene. Okay, so what have I done here? I put the cab lights on. I redo the entire cab. I put in another gas tank. I adjusted the steering. I adjusted the shifter. I did the Kingpins, and now I got to do a muffler or glass packs. There's mufflers in front of those, and they're pretty new. But I like those glass packs back there. It just gives her a little bit more of a better tone, so I can speak almost normally in this thing. That was a rare event there for a while. So let's just see how that feels. All the mileage, 28,291 on. It's God only knows. That's not the original speedometer, odometer setup, of course. You can tell because I got my GPS and I had to mark it with a Sharpie where the speed really was. So, okay. Well, let's back them out and we'll see how it does. Oh, golly, the brakes are fantastic. All right, that's great. Okay, let's see how it goes in reverse. Oh, there you go. Just like it ought to do. Well, I can tell you now, the steering is steady. I used to have to kind of wriggle and wrestle around this thing like all get out. I can't go on the road because my bonnet's not closed. Oh my gosh, what a glorious event that is. A joyous Noel, as Mick would say. So let's get this going here. Shifter, steering. Okay. So let's sort of do this. Turn the wheel and the wheel goes in that direction. I'm going to try to cut some grass today too. Alright. And I don't have something broke down out there, I guess. Don't exactly cut it real good, does it? Well, I'll get my initials out there, it'll be fine. Well, let's just go around. We'll take a tour around the barn here. Well, I'm real happy with this. The brakes are fabulous. Steering is fabulous. The engine's running better even with just 4 spark plugs. She's an 8-cylinder, she'll take 8. Okay. It's getting kind of hazy out there. I love those lazy, crazy, hazy days of summer. Alright, well, let's get her in the barn. I don't know what happened to him out there. Alright, and then we're going to call this one quits. Oh, gosh, if I adjust those back brakes. Uh-oh, what happened? Well, that's okay. We're close enough. I think I know what it is. I think I left the crimpy thing on the gas thing. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Give me a thumbs up, and we will talk later. I don't know. Could have been the electric fuel pump. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm in the barn. I just approved them in, and all's well. And we're going to see about that fuel pump situation. I was wondering what that was shaking the barn. Oh, I'm so glad to see they're doing that. Now I can cut my initials in there and you'll be able to see them. You never see them this brazen. Guinea hens. Come on, fly babies. That's funny. Yeah, he's out there still cutting it.